Thank you so much, David, and thank you for having me here at the at BFI. It is my privilege and honor to present you this film, which is really one of the best Polish films ever made, and definitely one of the most special and unusual screen epics ever made. The film is called Pharaoh. It was made in 1966 by Jerzy Kawalerowicz, and it's an adaptation of a novel first published in 1897, a novel by Bolesław Prus, one of the best, probably the finest Polish novelists of his and any era. The novel takes place in ancient Egypt, and you have to remember that Prus was writing it at the time that Poland didn't exist as a political entity. So, because for more than a century Poland was completely wiped away from the map, and Bolesław Prus was writing this novel, analyzing ancient Egypt and presenting the historical situation really as a metaphor for what was going on in Poland at that time, and also to understand what makes nations and civilizations fail or rise again. So it's really a philosophical novel about the nature of the state. And Kawalerowicz, who was an extremely ambitious and very idiosyncratic filmmaker, he made such wonderful films as Night Train in 1959, Mother Joanne of the Angels in 1961, which won Silver Palm at Cannes, decided to tackle this huge historical epic taking place in ancient Egypt. Of course, he was working in communist Poland, so how do you make a movie based in Egypt, in Poland in mid-60s? He gathered a big budget. It was, of course, fully state-funded at that time, and he made the movie as a co-production between Poland and Soviet Russia. It was actually shot in Uzbekistan. You will see the desert landscapes here. 80% of the film was shot there. Two scenes that are taking place on the river of Nile were actually shot on Vistula River in Poland. So when you see the river, you can remember that it was actually shot in Poland. The only scene in the film, the only outside location in the film. The interiors were shot fully in the Łódź film studio in Poland, and there are literally 3 shots of the pyramids that were shot in Egypt. So this is a film taking place in ancient Egypt, but it was actually shot all over the place, from Uzbekistan to Poland. The film was a huge endeavor. It costed a humongous amount of money. It took more than 3,000 extras to make this film. They were mostly supplied by the Soviet army as a part of the cooperation, and you will see it on the screen. There are masses of people. It's really impressive, especially now when usually masses of people are supplied by CGI. The film has made a star out of the main actor playing the Pharaoh, the young Pharaoh, Ramses XIII, who never existed, by the way. It's a fictional character, and the actor playing him is Jerzy Zelnik. He became a big star after this film. This is his first screen role, and when you are watching the film and you are watching the young Pharaoh, remember that he is 19 years old. It's a very remarkable performance from a very, very young actor. The movie was shot by Jerzy Wójcik, one of the finest Polish cinematographers. It's shot in glorious CinemaScope in color, and yet it looks entirely unlike any epic of ancient Egypt that you have ever seen. Whether it's Cleopatra or Ten Commandments, this movie really reinvents the whole genre. It's very detached, it's very philosophically inclined. It's really a cold analysis of the mechanisms of power, and not the kind of an epic that was made at the time in Hollywood. And this was a very deliberate move on Kawalerowicz's part. He wanted to make a film of huge scale, and yet of a very sharp intellectual focus. And he succeeded. The film opened in 1966 after 3 years of production and preparation. It was included in the Cannes Film Competition and didn't win the Golden Palm, but it was also nominated for the 1966 Oscar for the Best Foreign Film. It lost to A Man and a Woman, a film by Claude Lelouch, but it really established Kawalerowicz as one of the most important, strongest, and possibly strangest voices in world cinema. He made a huge screen epic that had nothing to do with the usual way of handling such historical subjects. So you are in for a treat. The movie is visually stunning. The color palette is very unusual. There are very few primary colors. It's mostly sand, sepia, and this faint blue of the Uzbekistani sky. and it's a fantastic reflection on the struggle between the secular and between the secular power and the power of the church, which was also a theme that was very close to Kawalerowicz's heart. This film hasn't played here for a while. I think it's ripe for a discovery. It's not yet released here on DVD, but I hope it will be, and I hope you will enjoy it because it's quite an experience, and I don't think there's anything like it in terms of screen epics taking place in ancient Egypt. So enjoy, and thank you for having the film here and for having me to speak before it. Thank you so much.